folks, and welcome to Garbage Theater. Tonight's installment, Love on a Leash. I'm your host, Chase, with my co-host, Blake and Dipshit.
The name is Alvin Flang, sir.
Oh my god, don't even fucking start with this fucking name.
This movie was absolute dog shit.
Okay. Never in the 2 years we've been doing this podcast have we watched a movie that's made me so legit angry. I was seething halfway through this thing. I was so pissed.
It makes me so happy.
So this is what it feels like on the other end of a pick like that.
Yeah. This is what it feels like to go with LaFleur.
Yeah. The whole time I was watching it, I was thinking of an episode of Family Guy when they're all in jail and the guy goes in to stab them and they're not there and he stabs himself and he goes, "Oh God, this is what I've been doing to people."
It just, okay, there's so many questions. But first of all, the voice of the dog, was this guy just handed the movie and say, "Hey, we need you to do the voiceover of the dog," and he just went through it and just basically made fun of the fucking movie? Because I couldn't tell if he was like in on some joke or something, because the tone of his inner monologue did not match the movie at all.
The personality of the dog and the man were totally different.
Yes.
Yeah, yes they were.
The dog hated this woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And I don't give a shit about spoiling anything in this pile of shit, but towards the end of the movie where he's finally trying to win her over, he calls her a pizza-faced cinder block.
Yeah. But that's what I put in my notes, does he hate her?
Oh my Christ.
Holy shit. Well, I think they had two different guys, right? There was the voice of the dog, and then the guy that played the guy.
Did they film it? Did they film it and the guy who played the guy, he was supposed to do the voiceover, but then he died? He saw something shiny across the street and ran out in the street like the frickin' dog does and got hit by a car, and now we got to get some asshole to do the voiceover?
I have so many questions about just the creative direction behind this movie. The psychology of this woman that made this thing. I mean, she hates men and women equally. Yeah. She there's so many weird psychological things going on here. I said, it was written and directed by a 72-year-old Chinese woman.
You know what? I forgot about that little tidbit, and it's coming together now.
There's so many weird things. There's an original music credit. The movie is completely devoid of music.
No, it has music. The stupid little songs that he sings. That's the original music.
I read that on a little Amazon X-ray thing. Yeah. Where the movie had a composer, but there's no music. Yeah. So people are left to believe that the composer wrote the songs that the dog sings.
Exactly.
But those songs sound like they were just made up on the spot.
Oh, yeah. Hey, does everybody want to hear one of those songs right now?
No.
Because I had to grab one of them.
Yeah.
So, okay. And I also just want to say this too. Part of what really pissed me off about this movie was the fact that it's so bad, but it actually got 3 legitimate laughs out of me. And every time I did it, I got increasingly more angry. Because something stupid would happen, and I'd laugh at it, and I'd go, "You motherfucker!"
Wait, something that was on purpose funny or not on purpose funny?
I don't know, because it was the dog the whole time, and I don't know if he's taking this shit seriously. So, and this song was one of them. So, without further ado, let me make sure I got my volume on. Here's one of the dog's freaking on-the-spot songs.
Well, or I'm gonna have to start all over again. I can't believe I have to live on the street. Living on the street is hard, and also it hurts my feet. 'Cause I'm a dog, and it hurts my feet when it's hot outside, 'cause I'm a dog.
That got a legitimate laugh out of me.
Yeah. Me too. I remember that.
I didn't laugh once in this
I'm
movie.
a dog.
Not one time did I laugh at this.
But there's no way a man sat down and wrote that song.
I laughed. Okay, I'll tell you all the parts I laughed at. I laughed at that.
Yeah.
I laughed at the first time when he said, "Why don't you put on some more green?"
Okay.
And then I laughed again. What was the third one? Shit, I can't remember. It's in my notes. We'll find it.
When the dog died at the end.
Oh no! When she was complaining, he said about like she had a headache or her stomach was hurting. He said, "Why don't we call the wambulance?"
Jesus Christ, Jason. Now, this was gonna be the first movie that Becca was gonna sit through and watch with me.
Oh,
the whole way through.
What a poor choice.
Way.
Well, as soon as I said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure the girl has sex with a dog," she's like, "I'm out." So she ended up watching the Meteor movie with me.
That's probably the better choice.
Oh, way better.
Heather watched a little bit of this one with me. She only made about 10 minutes. And she was a trooper for that.
I think I showed Claire the trailer, and she was infuriated. She was like, "Don't watch that."
Oh, too bad. My dumbass picked it. Okay,
I'm so happy.
Let's just start. I got a couple of surprises for everybody in my notes, so let's get going.
Okay.
So we open to a bunch of really fast shots of locales at all different times of the goddamn day. I guess just to establish how much of a clusterfuck of a movie we're in store for. We finally settle on a lone golden retriever in a park watching some pigeons. Dead silence.
It's complete silence. There's no ambient sound, no music.
It goes on in dead silence for so long, I started to think that my Amazon was screwed up, and I almost restarted the app on my TV.
Yes. Okay, so I was wondering the same thing, and I had turned the volume up, to see if I was missing something, and then the dog speaks, and it like blew my fucking speakers out. Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, the dog runs around, rolls in the dirt, eats some garbage, and then finally just says, "Where are all the girls at?" It's the opening line of the movie.
You know what just hit me? The dog's dialogue is basically the thought bubble dialogue from Born into Mafia.
Yeah. This has a lot in common with Born into Mafia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When that dude's like in the back going, "Girls, girls, girls."
Oh, man. But, if only they had the artistic genius to have word bubbles popping up throughout the whole fucking movie. It might have saved a little bit of it. So he keeps on going about talking about how there's no girls around, so there's no fun. And he gets really angry at some guy that stops to pet him and tells him that he's not gay.
Wait, what?
He finally finds a woman and tries to steal her Frisbee, and he gets rejected immediately. "Oh, it's because I'm a dog, isn't it?"
Yes.
Yeah. Most women dirt eating garbage.
Most women aren't gonna fuck a dog.
So here's where I was starting to get confused.
But now we know there's at least one that will.
So I was starting to get confused here because I was under the impression from the trailer that this was going to be a shameless Beauty and the Beast ripoff where a man was going to get cursed to be a dog and he has to get a girl to fall in love with him. But the way the movie starts off, it's really setting it up that it's just the story of a regular-ass dog who's horny for human women. Because never do they explain that he was... I mean, they do, but it's way into the movie that they explain that he's a human cursed to be a dog. We never see it happen. They never do a flashback. We just have to buy into the fact.
They say he's reincarnated.
Yeah. So I have so many questions about this. Like, was he born a dog with a human's mind?
Okay, this is okay. Like, this is where I'm pissed off.
Okay. Folks, the general structure of our podcast, throw that to the wind. That's not going to happen this episode because we're going to have to go all over the fucking place to make sense of this.
Okay, he says he's reincarnated, but it's as if he just became conscious by the lake by the ducks.
And immediately was like, where the women at?
His very first clear thought as a conscious being.
If you're reincarnated, you wouldn't be using your old name. It'd just be like Rover or whatever, because that's not how reincarnation works.
Okay, so he protests the name thing. He's like, I have a name. Okay. And then she's like, no, your name's Prince now. And then his name is Prince for the rest of his life. What happened to his name?
I don't know, but it only gets screwier when... Never mind. Let's go. This fucking movie. And, I think this is, like, to me, this is the worst movie we've watched.
By leaps and bounds. And you didn't even watch the previous worst one.
I know. This beats China Salesman for me because I could... The only problem with China Salesman it was 114 hours long.
It was 114 hours long about a mobile telecom company.
Yeah, if I had to watch an hour and a half of China Salesman or an hour and a half of this, it'd be China Salesman.
Oh my God.
I honestly, it's a tough choice for me because there was something fascinating about this that it was so insane.
I'd rather watch Mike Tyson drink actual piss.
Fuck you high. I've been there. I know what it is. It's a cheap fucking thrill, and that's what you riding on right now.
Blake has swam in those waters before.
Oh, look. Deep in those waters.
So, okay, trudging along. So easily the most interesting part of this whole predicament, the cursing of him or whatever caused him to dogify in any previous life is completely left out of this story of talking dogs and soon to be sentient municipal ponds.
Hold on. How does the bastard who's taken notes on the movie to write a novel you don't know the story of the dog or the dude before? He's a dog because he was an asshole to chicks before. So he got reincarnated as a dog.
That's not a story, though.
But you can't gloss over the facts of the movie now.
None of the mechanisms of this like magic are clear.
Yeah,
and there's new rules just flying out of everywhere.
Yeah,
well, we ain't even got to the magic fucking pond water yet.
Yeah. This man-made little spit of water is magic, and it can talk through the use of default After Effects filters. The dog goes up and he talks to the pond, and the pond tells him to find a girl, and it'll turn him back human. And why? Just
if he's reincarnated, that's it.
He happened upon the one magic talking pond in the world, and it's in buttfuck California.
He's not gay, Chase. We've already gotten
that explicit.
Yeah.
So now the dog's on the prowl, and he's following all the women in the park around, reminding us over and over again that he is in fact a dog.
I'm a dog.
Yeah, how many times does he say that line?
So many times.
So it was like and at this point I was questioning the voiceover guy. Like, does he just have no respect for his audience and thinks that they're just the dumbest beings to ever draw breath, or is he in on something here that this movie decided to MST3K itself within itself?
Well, I realized that the movie duped me while he's looking for women, because I'm like, okay, dog's gonna hump a chick's leg any minute now. And when it didn't, I realized I'm the sick bastard.
Yeah, that never happens in the whole movie.
Fucking booby trap.
So the dog comes across a couple of girls sunbathing as they're checking out all the hot guys nearby. The dog spots them and goes, bingo, but he sounds like he's 3 miles away.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The audio of the dog's recorded voice and what's going on camera is two totally different levels.
He's 2 feet away from these girls, and he just goes, bingo. So he zeroes in on budget Anna Faris here.
Yeah,
good real fucking budget.
So she spots him and calls him a dog or some bullshit, and the movie completely freaks the fuck out and cuts all over the goddamn place. Suddenly she's driving through town in her VW Bug, and the dog is now filthy, and he's laying down in front of her car to make her stop, but she's at a gas station and stopping anyway, and god damn it, John.
There's a thousand questions. Well, there's one part that I have to mention where she was she's with her friend, and her friend is giving her shit about being a virgin.
Yeah.
Because her friend is a complete whore bag.
Apparently. Everyone's a whore. Even her mom is like, you gotta get them dicks, baby! Like... but she's giving her shit about being a virgin, and then her friend runs off because some guy from off street said, hey, baby, what you do?
That old chestnut.
Yeah. So she prays to God that like a man comes into her life. And then there's like a shot of this dog in the background like he's Michael Myers or something. And he's like, you don't need a god. I'm right here. I was like, Shit was amazing.
A K9 Michael Myers in the background, just fucking red rocketed up.
Jesus Christ. So she decides to let this filthy gutter trash hound into her car, and she drives him away. And this is where I started to notice the green. She's got a green car. She's wearing a lime green shirt with what looks to be fucking macaroni art on it. She gets home and at Benny Hill speeds gives the dog a bath in her green bathroom with green effects everywhere, and then out into her green everything apartment.
It's never explained either.
No, everything's green.
This director takes the giving a character a color like way too far in this movie, and like
it's not like Breaking Bad. Like, oh yeah, she likes purple, so there's purple places.
Well,
this was just absurd.
Well, and Walter's color I think changes over the course of the show, like with his with who he is, but
as his character evolves, doing it subtly.
Can we not spoil Breaking Bad on the show, please?
We're not gonna spoil Breaking Bad. But like the dog's color, when he turns into a man, his color is just brown because he's brown when he's a dog.
Yeah, he has to stay beige.
Yeah, there's no thought put into this at all. She's just green for no reason.
So she cleans him up, and he's out the door immediately. We cut to a clothing store with some farting woman squeezing into a dress.
It's stupid fucking movie. Oh god,
I couldn't believe the fart. Like, I couldn't believe it went that broad.
It's just a woman, and she's trying to.
This movie needs with no ambient sound, fart noises.
It's just this low angle shot of this woman trying to fit into this dress that's too small for her, and they just force a fart right down your goddamn throat.
Okay, but the dress isn't even too small for her. The dress fits the woman.
Yeah.
They're just acting like it's too small for her.
She's OJing that dress.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
What you gonna do?
I wonder if OJ let one rip while he was trying to squeeze into those gloves.
Oh, shit.
So Lisa shows up for her 30-second shift, and someone who else that works there is Ping from the Chinese food delivery boy from Seinfeld.
Yeah. At
The
first
second I saw him,
I didn't recognize him, but
the second I saw him, this poor bastard has nothing going on.
he does,
when I saw him, I
though.
was like, where have I seen this guy before? And then, like, I did the asshole, like I'm trying to think of every Asian movie I've seen, and I'm like, nope, that's not it. Big Trouble in Little China, nope, that ain't it. And then finally it hit me.
Yeah.
Ping!
All you saved was the pea pods? Yes. So I'm like, oh.
I had to check. So I had to check his IMDb. Well, first of all, he's not listed on the IMDb for the movie. So
Of course he's not.
I think he probably had his name taken off of there or something.
He just wanted the paycheck.
Yeah. So I found his IMDb page. He's done tons of stuff. Like there's no reason for him to have to be in this.
Come on. Hey, you want to make $14 the hard way? Oh,
he's like
Lord.
the biggest star of the movie. Most recognizable actor in the thing.
What the fuck are you talking about? They got Air Bud in the movie.
Oh, Christ.
Air budget.
Wow.
That was awful. Cut that out, Chase.
No, it's fitting. It's fitting for the movie, so don't worry about it.
Lisa tells the woman that she cannot sell her this dress because it doesn't fit. You know, like you do.
Yeah, you work on commission, you dumb broad. Sell a dress.
So the woman calls over the manager, who is also the 80s brawny man, to complain. He says, oh, of course we'll sell you the dress, and they walk off. And then Ping asks Lisa to dinner. Cut to Lisa's apartment, where the dog's waiting for her and has an injury on his paw, as he exclaims that he cut himself shaving. And this is my first note. This movie is making me legitimately angry. And when the dog talks, he's talking over dialogue already in the movie.
Yeah.
There's not breaks for him to talk into. He's some asshole sitting in the theater talking over the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's how they recorded his lines.
Yes.
It just showed him what they'd done already, and he just talked over it.
Yeah. Then that's when the dog made me laugh by saying, "Why don't you put on some more green?" And I was like, that made me more angry.
Roasted.
Then Lisa gets a call from her mom, and as quickly as she answers it, she hangs up on the old bat. The conversation's 2 seconds long. The mom calls up and she's like, "Oh, I heard you got a boyfriend." "Oh, he's not a boyfriend. He's more like a friend." "Oh, you go on a date?" "I don't have time for this, Mom. Get the fuck out of here." And then it's over.
Oh, she's talking about Ping, by the way. He asked her out.
Yeah. And
There are
word
so
travels
many
fast.
people. So many people in this movie are meddling in this virgin's sex life.
Oh, it's ridiculous. At any given moment, everyone she knows has a scheme to match her up with somebody.
Yeah,
And not to mention, like, everybody's trying to fuck her.
Yeah, it's like they've got an office pool going on. Who's gonna get her laid first?
Yeah, I mean, it's really confusing because, like, is she supposed to be some kind of like ugly duckling, or is she absolutely irresistible to every male creature that
I don't
roams
know.
the earth?
She looks like she'd made this movie while she had the flu.
Yes,
Was that makeup, or did they?
She looks
was she
sick.
sick?
I couldn't tell. That's what I mean. Like, did they make her up to look bad, or is she supposed to be like the cutest
Well,
thing on
John,
two
you
legs?
are the expert on these things, so why don't you give us your...
Well, she had pimples and stuff. You know, I was like, but did they put those on or were they real? I don't know. It was.
She had like, I don't know. Her face was all red and puffy, and
yeah.
I don't know. I thought she was legitimately sick, and my dumb ass, I'm like, oh, maybe she's allergic to dogs, and stupid.
So she gets off the phone with her mom, and she's thrilled that the dog can seem to be able to distinguish the color green, because that's going to be useful to her. And she asks him to be her roommate. He says, okay, you pay the rent, I'll sniff my butt.
Are you a dog or not? Like, when he's a dog, he still has, like, dog cravings? He eats dog food and stuff, even after she knows that he's not a dog anymore?
Why is she even asking him if he wants to be a roommate?
Is he just like along for the ride, and the dog is like his psyche is just trapped inside this already like normal living dog?
Once again, that's not reincarnation, so I don't know what the hell's going on here.
He's like it's Scientology. He's a thetan that's latched onto this dog.
Oh no.
We just got over the last lawsuit from Scientology.
So, after that, we cut to the Bella Italia family dining restaurant where all first dates go to die. They sit down at a table and date's over.
Yeah, that's it.
She's back home doing dishes, talking on the phone to her friend about the date. And what's with all the goddamn Dutch angles in this fucking movie?
Dude, this whole thing
it's
looks
like an episode of 60s Batman.
It looks like it was shot on a camera without a viewfinder. Like they couldn't see what they were doing. Half her head is cut off in this shot. Like, it makes no sense.
Oh, you see the tip of her nose for such a long time.
And they get more extreme as it goes. The camera's almost laying on its side at points.
It's insane.
The only thing they do more than that angle is show the fucking time ducks.
Yeah. Thank you. I wrote down time ducks and I was waiting to get to it.
I think we probably all have time ducks written down.
Like the first time I was like, okay, it's ducks to show the passage of time.
Yeah.
And then, then on the 47th occurrence, it's like, okay, enough with the fucking time ducks. And get a new fucking shot of the ducks. Don't use the same one.
So, after much time ducks, her friend tells her on the phone that she needs to go shopping for some new outfits if she's going to land Ping. And just like that, it's tomorrow, and let's go shopping. But first, let's name the dog. But not because his name is already Alvin motherfucking Flang.
I have a name.
I have a name.
Alvin Flang.
This was the other thing that made me laugh. He said, I already have a name. It's Alvin Flang. How about Rover? She goes, no, how about something more classy? Like Alvin Flang. So she passes on naming him Rover or Reginald and settles on Prince. So they head out and start window shopping as he points out a green dress in a shop. And she says that she can't afford it unless you're going to pay, to which he, casually replies, I'd rather kill myself.
Me too, dog. Me too.
And this is where I was like, he seems to hate this girl. Isn't he supposed to be wooing her?
It's so confusing.
So they then go to a swap meet where the dog is rummaging around in a pile of clothes on the floor.
I didn't realize that's what a swap meet was.
It's just an empty room and a heap of stuff on the floor as everybody punches and kicks and goes through it.
And a man yells at you about how much it costs.
Yeah. Yeah, the dog starts going through the pile of clothes on the floor, mind you, and he comes up and kicks the dog and says that the dog is ruining all his fine floor clothes.
Yeah.
It's one step away from being garbage. but he's very protective of it. So the dog finds a matching skirt, and the crowd goes wild. A talent agent tries to sign the dog right then and there on the spot, because everybody knows if you want to get discovered out there in Hollywood, go to the floor rummaging swap meet. Swap meets are lousy with talent agents.
Yeah.
So Lisa isn't interested, and they walk away, but Prince takes the agent's card. Will that come back later? You bet your ass it's going to come back later. Later, Lisa is back working at the clothing store when her manager decides to start feeling her up, and she runs off and runs into another guy creeping out on her, and he's like pretending he's interested in buying something for his wife, he says. But it's all like, well, what does your wife like? Well, what do you like? Well, what's your wife's size? She's your size.
She's exactly your size.
And guess what? This man is soon going to be suitor number 2. So she sells him some green shit. And
where does she work, by the way? What is this store? Is it a thrift store?
I don't know.
It's just a pile of shit in there.
They have whatever doesn't sell there ends up at the floor swap meet.
yeah, that's the second step. Yeah. They have like one of everything in that store.
It's everything that TJ Maxx doesn't want, they send to the floor swap meet, and everything the floor swap meet doesn't want, they send to them.
She works at Hudson's Treasure Hunt.
Oh, Christ. Congratulations, Blake. Exactly 2 people get what that is, and we're both on this podcast.
I used to fuck shit up in Hudson's Treasure.
Okay, story time.
It's always Blake with the deep pools here.
Yeah. Story time. When Blake and I finished school, our parents went off to live in a little town called Picayune, Mississippi. And we would every now and then have to be there for summers.
It's the sister city of buttfuck Los Angeles.
There's nothing there. The mall is the Walmart. And there's a store called Hudson's Treasure Hunt, which is basically a floor swap meet. And Blake and I would frequent it, where Blake would cause much property damage. Especially during Easter. See, it would this store would basically get the runoff or what didn't sell from other stores, and it was just kind of heaped in there. Well, we would walk down the aisles, and there was the Easter aisle, and there's all those, those big eggs and those like blister wrap packages. And Blake would just pick it up and crush it and put it back on the shelf.
Which, by the way, has become a family tradition.
What the fuck?
Whenever we're done here, I'll send y'all a video of my daughter crushing candy in the store.
There was a hugely missed opportunity one summer at Hudson's Treasure Hunt where Blake and I found an honest-to-God mini bike.
Yeah.
No way.
And because we didn't have $400 between the two of us, we didn't get it. But we should have begged and borrowed that $400 because the things we could have accomplished with that mini bike.
We probably would need another $400 to get us out of county lockup in Picayune, Mississippi.
But I digress.
Yeah.
Memories.
So after she sells this guy some random stuff, her creepy manager comes back and he forces a dress on her. She then disapparates back to her apartment with Prince and tries it on when a fucking gypsy barges into her bedroom. So it turns out that the creepy guy in the store was sitting there by old Gypsy Rita, and through some arbitrary way of knowing him, decided, oh, you'd be perfect for her. Go perv out on her really hard and make her uncomfortable. So she gives Lisa his number and leaves. Cut to the park again. Time Ducks, where Lisa and her pink-clad friend are discussing how much of a whore she is, and boom, we're back home, where Lisa's deciding to date both the creep and Ping. So she tosses and turns on her big brown heart-shaped bed, like you have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man, this wasn't a real bed, right? Like this was some piece of shit that they cobbled together to look like a heart bed.
I guess.
I feel like there was just a, I don't know.
They picked it up at the swap meet.
Yeah.
As they're tossing and turning, as she's tossing and turning in bed, Prince is lamenting that if she marries one of these two guys, he'll be trapped as a dog forever.
They're already talking about marriage.
Yep.
She's been on one date with one of the guys, and just got perved on by the other one.
So here's my first surprise of the night. This is where Chase had a mental breakdown and decided, fuck the detailed notes. I'm doing this shit shorthand.
Well, yeah.
So from here on out, all my notes are bullet pointed shorthand little jots. So we're going to start freestyling here in a minute. The next day, she tries on some clothes at like 32 times speed. This is where that what we call the whambulance line happens, and got another chuckle out of me. While she's doing this, her mom calls her in the dark like a creepy fucking murderer.
She showed a shot of her mom just in her house, sitting
Dutch angle
just sitting in the dark. It's like she should be giving her bad news or something.
No,
but all she's like, I heard gossip that you're dating two guys now.
Yeah. She then suggests that she dates a ton of guys and just be a total whore.
Yeah.
So she's got the I don't know if they're pictures of Ping and is it Frank? Is that the other guy?
Yeah, she has physical photographs of both of these men.
So she's got these pictures, and she sits down on the couch, and she's talking to Prince and saying, I don't know, Prince, which one do you think it is? So Prince decides to eat both the pictures, and then as he does so, he says, one of these tastes Japanesey.
Oh, God.
Oh, this movie.
So weird. I mean, obviously, Ping is Chinese.
Yeah. One of these tastes Japanesey. This further evidence that the dude doing the voiceover just went rogue.
Oh, yeah.
And then they said, well, shit, we have to put it out. I mean, what are we going to do? Re-record it?
Can't do that.
So now Lisa's out on a date with Frank and his mother, like you do on the first date.
Who boy?
Who's a creepy Nurse Ratched-like gynecologist. Frank's mother wants to talk to her alone, so she sends Frank out of the room, and it's all very psycho. She's starting to tell Lisa that she's looking for a stepmother for her 10-year-old grandson with an IQ of 170, who was grown with the top science around. He's like a genetically engineered wunderkind. She then insists on Lisa getting a forced hysterectomy, like you do on a first date from your future mother-in-law.
But because they have to ensure that this kid is going to become the president of the United States.
Yeah, you spent all that money on genetic shit, and you want it to be the president?
Why don't you encourage it to do something useful?
Yeah. I mean, anybody could be fucking president.
Yeah.
That much is clear.
She then goes home and tells Prince, yo, you were right about not liking any of these two guys. The Prince says, I broke your favorite glasses.
That's not what we were talking about. Stay on topic, Prince.
So Lisa then invites Ping over. He comes over that night. She invites him to come over later that night. And then Paula, her friend in pink, shows up with a trash bag full of clothes or something.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another part where the movie made me legitimately laugh, because Prince bites Paula and she runs out cursing at Lisa. And Lisa grabs Prince and is like, what is wrong with you? You don't bite people. And he goes, she was playing with my face. Because it's true. She was like manhandling the dog's face.
I don't get why she got mad at her friend, though.
She's got a lot of misdirected anger.
Yeah. So Ping comes over later and proposes on the spot. But it's not what you think. It's only in name, because he's actually homosexual and he needs to please his family by having a son with someone. That's a lot to just drop on this one.
Oh my God. Again, as far as we know, they've been on one date.
One 5-second long date.
And this scene right here was jarring because it was like the first one that they let play. Like, it was a real scene. Yeah. So it just goes on and on about he's talking about his family and stuff.
Just begging her to please have a child with me. But she rejects him because she's only interested in the hunt for true love. So Ping goes on his way, and here comes Mort, the manager. He comes lurching in drunk that confesses, is her door to her apartment a sheet?
No, just I think the sheet's there to provide some kind of barrier between the door and like the rest of the house.
It's like she's got a tent flap.
Yeah.
There's something strange going on there.
So Mort comes in, he's lurching all over her. He starts to force himself on her, and she calls for Prince, who attacks Mort and sends him off running. But not before he fires her. She collapses in tears after being almost raped, and then the dog breaks out singing a song about how great he is.
I am so great. I am so great. He's doing like a jig.
I'm the man of the house. I'm the king of the castle. Some bullshit like that.
Yeah, and he yells like, "She's mine!" when she fights off the other guy. It's like, don't yell "She's mine" when you're trying to fight off a rapist.
Hey, get out of here! I was gonna rape her.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
And then, he's singing this song. Meanwhile, Lisa's in the background taking a fistful of pills.
Yeah, she's just
because she's so distraught about all these men who are after her and want to marry her. So she decides to kill herself.
I get it, honestly. Like, this is getting ridiculous.
So she ODs, and Prince runs out into the night and throws himself down in front of a car, like he does throughout this movie, to stop a car to get a guy to come in and call 911. She's rushed to a hospital, and then Prince goes wandering the streets, singing another street song because she's dead and gone, so he's got to start over now. All this happens in a matter of 5 seconds.
It's so short in runtime.
And then, boom, Lisa's better. She's out. She was released an hour later. From old fucking D'ing.
Turns out she was just taking children's Tylenol.
She can't find Prince. She does eventually find him, though, out in the rain, and she swears off men forever. And as soon as she does that, Prince says his magic words, shebang, and turns into a man. So now he's just a nude man in the woods.
Oh my God.
This is where we get the backstory that he was this cheating playboy in a past life and he was cursed to be a fucking dog. And
can before we get too far, can I tell y'all how much of a fucking nerd I am, but I failed at the same time? I was trying to come up with like gods that match Shebang instead of Shazam. But it didn't work.
Shebang.
Because I figured DC's got a lawsuit against this movie.
So here she is, like 5 seconds out of the hospital from trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Because too many men are trying to marry her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her dog turns into a man. And then he proposes to her.
And she's thrilled.
And she thanks God for answering her prayers.
Thank God I'm going to be Lisa Flang.
You see, what I thought was going to happen when she OD'd, I thought that's when she was going to start seeing the dog as a man.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, if that's what happens, then does he even really turn into a man? And is she just fucking a dog? But thankfully it didn't go that route.
Yeah.
But it made me nervous.
Yeah. So they go back to her place, and he's just so excited to be a man. He's in the bathroom looking himself in the mirror. He's like looking at his ass crack in the mirror.
Yeah.
He's just so happy. They get in bed, and Alvin starts to undress Lisa. She's got like a sock wrapped around her chest as a bra.
Oh yeah, what was that thing? Like, it'd be over for me at that point. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. So they bang, but when they wake up, he's a dog again.
Do they bang?
I don't know.
It's implied heavily.
I wasn't sure if they ever once seal a deal, because it really seems like
either.
Maybe it's like Blake said, he couldn't get past the torso sock. How do I even unsnap this?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know if they sealed the deal or not.
Yeah, well, they don't. I know they don't even kiss. They haven't even kissed by this point in the movie.
Yeah.
And I also find it hard that, this subpar human who stayed a virgin until 40 would just, throw all that out the window for one night with a dog.
Are they... Aren't they married or something by now? Wasn't there a scene where they, got married? Or no, there was no scene, but they said they were married.
There's still pictures of them getting, pseudo married. But no, that comes later.
That's later, but it isn't even getting married. It's just like them in their house, jumping on each other. If that constitutes a wedding, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You can't just say we're married and then it happens.
Yeah. You can't jump piggyback on a man and say, well, that's it.
Got him.
Yeah.
So we then smash cut from that back to the pond that explains to Alvin that it's not actually true love because he's just using her to become human. So it's like a loophole. So he's only going to be a man at night. Anytime the sun's out, he's going to be a dog. I
don't like how this pond keeps changing the rules as it goes on.
This pond is making it up as it goes.
It's really moving the goalposts is what it's up to.
Yeah.
Come on, pond. Give him the straight dope.
Exactly.
What's he got to do?
So Lisa's having a tough time with this arrangement. She tries to go about her life with a half man, half dog, but she really seems to not give a shit about him when he's a dog. She flat out ignores him, he's around. She's shoving him away. But as soon as he turns back into a man, she's about to jump his bones.
Oh, it's on. So do you think during the day she looks over at him as a dog? She's like, man, I can't wait to fuck you or something.
I think, I don't know. Does she think that when he turns into a dog, he's 100% dog and doesn't understand anything?
No.
Or he's not consciously there?
And she even says, she's trying to have conversation with him at some points, but she knows she has to just wait till nighttime.
I'm trying to meet this movie halfway there.
I mean, there must have been some kind of conversation off screen where she asked him if he understands her when he's a dog.
Yeah, you got to know the logistics.
Yeah, you got to figure this stuff out.
I understand everything, but I become way more cynical and I have a different inner monologue voice.
Yeah. Also, I'm into dog stuff.
So more time ducks happen, and this is where they get married in their living room and take some really strange pictures.
Well, she puts like a leash on him when he's a man.
That's what, like, that was another thing. It was like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. Hold on.
Would you just prefer me to be dog all the time?
Right.
Do we need to mention again that she was a virgin before this? Her like first sexual experience is like bestiality. She's going straight to the bestiality.
Once you go dog.
Everybody knows it takes at least 6 months before you start fucking dogs.
Yeah.
You gotta be deep into a weird porn addiction for years before you get to bestiality.
Oh yeah, you've got to be like sexually deprived for like a long time.
Sarcastic glances at the dog.
What the? I mean, but like he said, he's a human trapped in a human trapped in a dog's body, and you're gonna give him a collar? And why was he okay with it? Why didn't he be like, hey,
yo,
like, I'm not a fucking dog?
Because I thought when they started taking the pictures, the first one was like her holding his leash. I thought it was about to be, like a BDSM session. But then it was like she had a veil on.
That's when John started wringing his hands. Here we go.
Yeah, I was like, now we're getting to the good stuff. This is what we're here for.
And sadly, it had no payoff.
So they take their wedding pictures, and the next day they go out to that same goddamn park to watch some good old-fashioned kabuki theater. Prince stops by the pond, and it further explains that he needs to now learn how to be a good husband before he can become human forever.
Come on,
motherfucking pond. This is where Prince then remembers the talent agent and decides that he's going to become some famous dog, so that he can provide for Lisa and be a husband. So he goes to the drawer and he finds the card. Now here's twist number 2 of the night. This is where Chase said, "I don't give a fuck," and stopped taking notes altogether.
Oh no.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
I hit 11 at this point. So, yeah, I completely stopped taking notes. So we got to free-for-all it from here.
Oh, geez.
That's fine.
This movie's too crazy to free-for-all it.
So, yeah, he goes back to the talent agent, who's with the farting woman.
Yeah, were they, like what a coincidence.
So, yeah, she's his, like, number one client, and she's putting together... what commercial was? He was putting together some kind of commercial that they needed a dog for. And he said, "Oh, I know this dog that can pick out outfits." And he said, "Get me that dog."
Yeah. Drop everything. Get me that dog.
I just can't. I can't with like. Why is the perfect dog for this commercial just able to see colors? Like, is it the only thing that this writer could think of that other dogs can't do?
I guess so.
That makes it the perfect dog. I don't know.
Who's giving these people money to make these movies?
I don't know. Like, you know what? I bet this lady just won real big in Mahjong one time.
Jesus.
Is that racist?
Gonna piss off the Italians, now you're gonna piss off the Asians too? Nah, it's okay. Mahjong's a totally legitimate way to fund a movie. I'm with you.
Oh, Christ. So, yeah, he tracks down the talent agency, and he somehow gets into the office, and he's sitting at the desk. Like he works there.
Okay, like, I know he's only a man at night, but he could have, like, called and left a message as a human.
Nah.
Well, he does do that later, right?
Yeah, later he does make the call. Is that when that happens? He calls him up, and then he shows up as the dog the next day, and he just saunters into the office.
I don't know.
Honestly,
I wasn't paying too much attention either.
He leaves a message.
I completely let go
like,
of the wheel at this point, so who the hell knows?
He leaves a message that's like, "Look, I have the dog you're looking for. He'll be outside in the morning. Just give him the money."
Yeah, that's exactly what
That's it.
Yeah, so they bring the dog in.
Nobody found that strange at all.
Yeah. Well, they bring the dog in, and he's sitting at the desk, and they start talking to him as if they can have a conversation with a fucking dog. Yeah. So he starts, like, on the sly, making these commercials about fighting ninjas as a dog. He's daylighting as a ninja fighting dog to make money to support Lisa, and he keeps coming home with injuries. Yeah, and so she gets pissed off about that. Like, I don't want you hurting yourself fighting ninjas.
Work injuries. Jesus.
I hated this. Yeah. So who remembers what happens next?
She tells him that she doesn't want him working and all that.
Well, he buys her the dress that they saw.
Yeah, he buys her that dress that they saw. The green
she's
one.
Like, "Where'd you get the money, Denny?"
I really just want to jump to the end.
Can we?
I really do.
It really doesn't matter. This movie made no fucking sense.
She gets in a fight with her gypsy neighbor, because the gypsy neighbor's all like, she's suspicious about Prince. So she gets in a fight with her, and for some reason, the gypsy neighbor's the only reason her mom comes around. Because when the gypsy neighbor's like, "Fine, I'm out of your life," she's like, "And your mom's out of your life too," and then she gets a call immediately from her mom saying, "Yeah, fuck you."
Like, was the gypsy like the mom's psychic advisor or something?
I guess she was very, into this gypsy woman, but eventually there's a meeting that she has to go to with like her boss, like it's like the CEO of the dingy fucking dirt market or something. And she really wants him to go with them, but it's during the day. He's like, "I can't go during the day. I'll be a dog." He's like, "Oh, but it's cloudy out." He's like, "I'm not taking that risk, you crazy bitch."
Yeah.
So look at how cloudy it is. Come on, let's do this. So he agrees, and they go to this pool party of thrift store dignitaries, and and sure enough, something happens, and he turns into a fucking dog and gives everybody a heart attack.
I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, why is she hiding the fact that he turns into a dog? What's the worst thing that could happen?
Did you just hear what you said?
I know. Then everybody knows she's fucking a dog.
I mean, I guess, but...
You guess?
She only fucks it when it's a man. I mean, at least...
They don't know that. They don't know that.
So he turns into the dog, and she does the most obvious pratfall into the pool.
Yeah.
And she's drowning in the pool, and this is where the dog gets super pissed off, like, "Oh my god, I had to save your stupid ass." And that's what he calls her, a pizza face cinder block. And reluctantly saves her life. He's still trying to win her over to become a full-fledged human, by the way.
Yeah, but he didn't say anything that was untrue.
So he saves her, and the relationship just keeps going downhill to the point that he runs away. Now, we're rushing to the end here, but I need to talk about the ending, because the ending makes no fucking sense at all.
I was happy at one point.
So he runs away, and that's when she comes to the realization that, oh no, I really need him. And then he comes to the realization, oh, I really do love her. And they're doing the stupid romantic comedy thing where they're running back to each other, and they see each other down the street, and they're running. They're so happy, and the dog cuts across the street.
And right then, I'm like, yes, yes.
You hear the tires squealing, and the dog gets hit by a van. I thought the movie was just going to end here. So it cuts, and it's just these really dramatic, just fade in and fade outs of the dog laying on the ground. He's got blood all over him, and she's crying, and there's no sound at all. And then it cuts to black, and it's black for a while. So, okay, roll those fucking credits and just make this a depressing, stupid movie. But no, it comes back. And it's years later, and she's old now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's old.
I couldn't believe they went here.
And she still lived in that stupid apartment.
She's still in the green apartment, but she's like gray-haired old lady. And she's in her apartment, and she's got all the pictures of her in prints, and it's very sad. And she's waiting. I have to hold out hope that one day he'll come back. And there's a knock at the door, and it's her friend. And her friend looks like she's maybe 5 years older. They just put
they grayed her hair a bit. And
they put a little touch of gray in her hair. And now, okay, here's where I was seething with rage, so I can't know if I heard it right. Does she show up, and her friend? She's got 5 kids with her.
Yes.
And she says, "Are those her kids or her grandkids?"
Yeah.
Which one were they? I'm asking.
Her grandkids.
I think
they were grandkids. Okay, thank you. How? Okay. For there to have been 2 generations of people spawned from this woman, it's got to be at least, what, 30 years later?
Not necessarily.
I think it could be. I could be more. I mean,
if this woman,
reasonably,
no, because if this woman taught her daughters to be whores like she was, it could be 13, 14 years before they have offspring.
Because how is it that Lisa is this old, decrepit woman, and she looks exactly the same, and she's got 5 grandchildren?
Black don't crack, Chase.
Yeah, damn it, you beat me to it. God damn it.
I had that written down too. So she comes in, and they're reminiscing, and her friend's talking about how, I found the right guy, and I settled down and had kids, and I'm so happy. And she's talking about, I'm still holding out hope that one day my prince will come back. And so she leaves, and then later she goes outside and she puts up a for sale sign, or is it a room for rent sign? It's some bullshit. It's a dumb mechanism to get the next thing to happen, because
it's a sign that says "Dog Dicks Welcome."
Because she goes back inside, and a person walks in behind her, and she's blocking the person's face, and he's asking, I heard there was a room for rent, or the house was for sale, or whatever the fuck it was. You know who it is. You know it's goddamn Prince. And she moves out the way, and it's Prince. And he looks exactly the same. He's still a young dude. And he's talking to her like he was a man that was a dick, and he died. And he reincarnated into a dog who could also turn into that same man. And then the dog died, and now he's reincarnated into the same man again. What the fuck?
That's not how it works.
He said he could die and be reborn. He said that earlier.
So
but
he's
I don't know
back,
what that means.
And they fall in love instantly. When this happens, the fucking lady in the municipal pond magic comes over the screen and turns him old.
Yeah.
Why?
Why didn't it turn her young?
What a fucking dick pond to be dragging him through all this shit. Like John said, moving the goalpost, only when he finally does it, I'm going to match your age to hers, not the other way around, you
I'm going to
fuck.
cut your life in half.
She makes him super old to match her. And this is when he says, oh, well, we're going to be okay. Because all these years while you've been wasting away and worrying, I've been establishing this super successful pet fucking whatever the fuck company it was.
Yeah. Well, good luck going trying to collect on your money because you look totally different now. And nobody's going to believe that you turned old from a magic pond.
At the moment that love was reached.
So then we go into another montage of wedding stuff, and again, I was so angry, I was blinded by rage. Were they young again?
Yeah. Then they both turned young again.
They were young at heart.
I'm so mad again.
Oh
I'm mad
my God.
all over again.
I couldn't believe it. What a movie. You know, and then I realized, at a certain point, I realized that I think this was probably made in the wake of Twilight. The whole thing about him, like, not being able to go out during the day and stuff. I think it's, like, right in that time period.
Yeah. It's right in that zone of, I can't go out in the day because I'll either sparkle or turn into a fucking dog.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm like almost 100% positive that this is from the Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah. All right, that's over. It's over.
You know, I found I was looking at the reviews again, post watch. And there are some people that just like their logic for things is so funny to me. There's a review that goes, I mean, it was horrible, but it was enjoyable. I swear that time makes no sense in this movie. I honestly thought it was a 2 to 3 hour movie, but it was only an hour and a half. I don't even know what to say.
That I agree with.
Yeah. I'm just so confused and have so many questions that will remain unanswered unless they make a sequel. They would watch a second one?
They want the answers so badly.
My friend thinks that the reason the movie doesn't make sense was because it was made by a dog for dogs. Because they have no sense of time.
That's it. That's the explanation.
Oh my God.
This old Chinese woman that's so into the head of a dog to really make my audience experience what it's like for this man, I have to make it to where they lose complete grasp of time.
Jesus Christ.
And then there was this other one. There's another one. Wow. They managed to take a cute idea and completely blow it. I'm sure there are women out there who are as shallow and small-minded as the ones portrayed in this movie, but I don't like any of them either. What really surprised me was how incredibly out of touch the writer was with how dogs think and how they act.
What the fuck?
Completely tone deaf at every turn.
She's complaining about how shallow these women are. I don't know. The main character has lowered her standards enough to fuck a dog.
Well, to me, how are you going to start contemplating like what a dog's thinking anyway? That's not what the problem with this movie.
That's what I'm saying. They're talking about this movie like it's a real movie.
But he's not an actual dog in the first place.
Oh my God.
Oh, Christ almighty. Okay.
Amazing.
Okay, do we want to do Blake's punishment questions first?
I'm going to get all of them wrong anyway, so you can go ahead and do them.
Okay, let's do Blake's punishment questions first.
Because I watched it as I was doing other things. So I watched enough of it to where I know what happened.
Yeah. For a refresher, Blake didn't get any questions right on which movie was it?
Who gives a shit?
It wasn't Killing American Style. It was the one before that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was his movie. Yeah, it was one before that.
Yeah.
He didn't get any questions right, so he had to do a double feature. I made him watch Meteor Apocalypse, and now he has to answer 3 questions to defend his current score of 5. So it's possible he's going to be walking out of this with 2.
I will be.
I got your questions for this movie after I watched Love on a Leash, and because of my state of mind after doing that, it took me all of 20 seconds to get your questions.
So if it's all from that opening jargon,
I clicked 5 minutes in, whatever was on the screen was a question. I clicked in the middle of the bar, whatever was on the screen was a question.
Okay,
because 5 minutes from the end, whatever was on the screen is a question.
The first 5 minutes of the movie was just all this jargon, and as soon as I saw it, I went, "Fuck."
Okay, so here's Blake's punishment questions for Meteor Apocalypse. Okay. Question number 1. What phase of deployment was about to be engaged in the opening scene of the movie?
Got it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I can just answer, huh? It was phase 3.
Wow, we got one. I'm shocked.
Phase 2.
Okay, question number 2. What, during the calamity of the movie, and I had to assume it's during the calamity because it's in the middle, I didn't watch the fucking thing.
Right.
What does the CDC advise the residents to not do?
Drink the water.
Motherfucker.
Whoa.
That was like a main plot point in the movie, though.
Oh, shit. Oh, I screwed myself on that one.
Yeah, that was like just the main thing. You couldn't drink water.
Okay, last one. Kind of a Blake question. How many O's were left standing in the ruined Hollywood sign?
2.
Trick question, it was all 3 of them.
Damn.
Okay, well, hey, you got 2. You're only down to 4 now.
That's not bad.
I'm good with that, but a lot better than I thought I was going to do.
Yeah, that was way better than I thought you were going to. I honestly expected when I said, okay, let's do your question, you just say, just take the 3 off. Because I didn't watch this thing.
No, I watched it.
Wow.
It was fucking, look, it was better than dog fucker or whatever. It was a whole lot better. It was stupid. But
okay, so now we got to do the real questions between me and Blake.
Yeah.
That John's got. And I can go ahead and tell you right now, John, if I miss every single one of them, you can go shit in your hat. I'll just take the 3 points off right now. I'm ahead by like 11. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. No, I get that. All right. All right. What feature is the dog surprised not to see at Lisa's house?
What?
So he must have said, I'm surprised there's not a blank here.
Fuck. Something like that, yeah. Question 2. Where does the dog claim to own a home?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Question 3. Who does Paula call when she wants to go swimming?
Oh, thank you.
There's a point where Lisa is just sitting and reading a book. What is the name of the book?
I looked at the book, but at this point I wasn't writing anything down.
And question 5. What is the brand name of the dog food being advertised?
I don't think I got any right.
I got 1, definitely.
I mean, it doesn't matter for me, but...
Yeah, you already had yours. You can't. The rule is that once you've had a double feature, you can't have another one in the same season. So that's safe.
Yeah.
Oh, should we clear something up really quick? Because I didn't get any right last time.
Yeah, I thought we only did one double feature a season.
No, I didn't. But
you didn't?
My reasoning was that Blake had said in the previous episode that the questions were going to be hard, and we're off the hook.
And he didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to punish anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
I remember that too. Yeah.
Anyway, question 1. What feature is the dog surprised not to see at Lisa's house?
Big old question mark.
Sorry, Chase, what'd you say?
No clue at all.
Oh, elevator.
Oh, he did say that.
Yeah,
fucking dog.
Where does the dog claim to own a home?
Malibu.
Tahiti.
Switzerland.
This dog, I swear.
Who does Paula call when she wants to go swimming?
No clue.
Peter.
That was Reg.
Fuck you, it was Reg.
It was
Reg was tennis.
I'm pretty sure.
Peter
was tennis and swimming was Reg. I'll double check.
It was Reg.
Son of a goddamn bitch. Never mind, I didn't get any either. I'll just take my 3 hits.
All right. What's the title of the book Lisa was reading?
Blowing Dogs for Dummies.
No idea.
Art USA.
That's what it fucking was. Oh, I remember now because I remember seeing Art USA. What the fuck is that? That's. I wanted to fast forward this goddamn movie.
What is the brand name of the dog food being advertised?
Alpo.
I said Alpo as well.
China Girl dog food.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Blake and I both struck out big time.
Amazing.
John, sit on it. I'm just going to drop myself down to 14. So
you're just going to take the L?
I'm just taking the hit. I'm not watching another fucking movie. I'm so far ahead, I'm that confident.
Yeah.
All right.
So the current standing is Blake with 4, John with 9, and I've got 14 now.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ almighty. Okay. Well,
Revenge has been served.
Revenge has been served, but now it's my turn, motherfuckers. I was telling John before we started that I already had my movie picked. It was an asylum movie because that's my getting back, but at the last second, I had to change of heart because we just watched this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've got the mental stamina to watch a goddamn asylum movie. We were going to watch Battle Dogs. which now I got to ask you, Blake, when I say Battle Dogs, do you picture like pet dogs and like mechs fighting each other?
It would be nice.
But no, it's just about a werewolf virus unleashed on New York.
Yeah, I pictured the dogs and mechs. I wanted that pretty bad.
It did star Wes Studi, Bill Duke, and Ernie Hudson.
What?
So, but I had a change of heart.
Wes Studi had time to get away from his Montana home where he paints.
Yeah. So I shifted and I found a different one. So what we're going to be watching instead is a movie from 1999, also in the same wheelhouse, called Lycanthrope. Tagline, pray for the sun. 1 star on Amazon.
Damn.
And 4.7 on IMDb. It's an hour and 30 minutes. Here is the synopsis, and it's a long synopsis. I decided to include the whole thing because this guy goes off on a weird tangent, and I thought it was funny. Through a deadly rip in the ozone, a blazing sun sears the dying Amazon jungle. But it's the lycanthrope that's ripping the flesh off the luckless group of scientists at a remote outpost. Government agent Bill Parker heads a commando team set to investigate the silenced outpost. Tension is palpable as the jungle heat grips the group when Parker discovers that the psychiatrist, Dr. Stein, has brought along his sexy wife, Sheila, who was once Parker's lover. There's no denying Sheila is a beautiful woman with the loyalty of a piranha. What? Horror upstages sexual tension, however, when the group is confronted by an empty laboratory drenched in human blood and a body torn to shreds. They soon discover that they, too, are being hunted. He went way out of his way to establish this love triangle.
Yeah, for like no reason.
Directed by Bob Cook, who also directed Rock-a-Die Baby. Engine.
As in Jun?
Yes. and The Nearly Departed. Starring the one and only Robert Carradine.
Who?
Also starring Michael Winslow.
Oh, shit.
As the comedic relief sidekick of Robert Carradine.
TGIF.
Reviews. Utter nonsense.
Wait a minute.
So bad.
I was thinking of Michael Winslow.
You were thinking of Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow.
That didn't even click with me when you said TGIF. It's Carl Winslow. It's the character's fucking name.
It's not even the actor.
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. You know it. My God. And you know it's the other Carradine, right? It's Revenge of the Nerds Carradine.
Yeah. I know it's not.
I gotta clear all this shit up for you now. So reviews. Utter nonsense. So bad, it's bad. And really not so good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just spoil the fuck out of this movie because I want to. It's called Lycanthrope. However, there isn't a single werewolf in this movie.
You can't do that.
Come on.
You can't do that.
It is lycanthrope in the clinical sense, where the clinical definition of lycanthropy is a man who believes he's a werewolf. Wah, wah.
Boo.
So there you go.
Boo.
That's the little.
So we can't even look forward to a werewolf.
Nope. That's the little knife in the side that comes along with my movie.
Fuck.
They apparently do some kind of stupid special effect over like the person's face to make it look like warped, and that means they're a werewolf.
Yeesh.
But not really a werewolf.
But hey, maybe Michael Winslow will bring Urkel along and cheer us all up.
And we'll all find out if there's any cheese.
He walks into the blood-drenched laboratory and asks, "Did I do that?"
Oh, I think we set precedent for the running gag through this movie.
Yep.
It's so stupid and obscure, though. Remember when John thought Michael Winslow was Carl Winslow?
Was the character Carl Winslow? And I forbid anyone from explaining that when we start going on that tangent next episode.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ.
Christ almighty. Okay, so with that being done,
I'm going to have to watch a few episodes of that show now.
Oh man. Okay,
I'm gonna listen to this back and just cringe at how confidently I said TGIF.
TGIF.
Oh my God, what an idiot.
You're gonna do that, and no, never mind. That's way too deep of a joke. Never mind.
Yeah, I feel like cringing at myself for not calling you out on it because I heard you say it and it crossed my mind. He's thinking of Carl Winslow, but I was already in the middle of a sentence and I couldn't stop talking.
I did my little half-ass laugh where I'm like, I'm supposed to laugh at this.
Yeah, you're like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, maybe they know something I don't.
Ooh.
Did Michael Winslow have a part on that show that I'm not remembering?
Oh, man. Was he on Step by Step or something?
Oh, man. Okay,
I'm crying.
So I'd like to thank everybody that's been listening. If you could drop us a review on iTunes, we would very much appreciate that. You can find us online at facebook.com/Garbage Theater, on Twitter at @Garbage_Theater, on Instagram at @Garbage_Theater. If you have a suggestion for a movie, send it at us. We'll watch it. We've done it before. I want to say we regret it, but we don't. We want to hear from you. It was a bad movie, but what are you going to do? Just send it to us on any of our social channels or directly at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. I don't want to say it. Last thoughts on this thing. Love on a Leash.
There's tons to talk about still, but it's not worth it.
The price of revenge, John.
All I'm saying is, like, enjoy it while you can, John.
I was telling Chase, like, I don't want this to turn into a big cycle of revenge where we're just constantly revenging each other.
Yeah, the next 3 movies being worse and worse and
I'm
worse.
very much a petty person, and, like, it's totally okay for me to do something like that, but not okay for somebody else to.
I see. I felt completely in the right. I had all the weapons dropped on me, you know?
You couldn't watch your precious Neil Breen movie.
Well, I'm going looking for the longest run time possible.
Which is probably just going to be a lick better than this. Oh, Lord. So that's it. We will see everybody next time. I need to close something up. There's several movies that are close to Lycanthrope. This one, look for the 1999 one, starring Michael Winslow, Robert Carradine. It should be the first one that pops up when you type Lycanthrope into Amazon. That's what it's on. There's a couple of other ones, but they don't seem to be on Amazon. But when I was looking for trailers, there was a bunch of them. So just make sure you watch the right one.
Okay.
So we'll see you next time when we watch one of the Lycanthropes. We might want to watch different ones. This could be a complete clusterfuck. Who the hell knows? I don't care. Good night.